Hey guys, thanks for stopping by. Once again, it's Sean here from PersonalWeedVaporizers.com. I apologize for the no frills here of my YouTube channel. I do plan on making some upgrades, but at this point I haven't been able to do that yet. So we'll have to live with what we got. But I did want to get up on here and show you guys an unboxing and a short little video on the all-new VaporFi Stratus. I have to say I am very, very impressed with this thing. I've had it here for I guess about 3 weeks now. I've been using it pretty much, I would almost say non-stop, but really as much as I can between charges. It's giving me right now about a full 2 hours of use for every charge. The only drawback to that being it's taken probably between 3 and 4 hours to actually charge it between uses. But like I say, I am very, very impressed for a couple reasons. The price of this thing compared to other vapes on my site, which I recommend, it's about half the price. Picked this thing up at $129. Most of the other vapes on my site, I mean, if you're looking at a good vape, for the most part, anything under $200 isn't going to get you much. You can get a Magic Flight launch box for, I think it's like $130. But as far as some of the higher ends, like the Ascent or the Solo or even the new Vaporizer Air, they're up between $250, some of as high as $260. So yeah, I'm very impressed with the actual performance of this, but more importantly the price. This thing $129, it's about half the price of most other vapes on the market, but it performs really, I mean, there's very negligible difference between this and some of the higher end vapes. So let me show you that. We'll go through a very brief here unboxing. I'm not going to cut to a close scene. So unfortunately I've already tried this a few times. The digital display on here, which is beautiful, it allows a full range of control between 350 and 430 degrees Fahrenheit. Unfortunately, it does not come through clearly. So I will have stills on the site. You can always go check that out. I'll have a full review with some close-ups of the actual heating chamber itself, the oven, the digital display, and so forth. But let me just show you the unit, how it fits in my hand. I mean, this thing is tiny. It's only about 5 inches in height. I mean, it actually fits in my hand like an electronic cigarette. What I do like about it, because of its size and the way it's designed, is the discreetness factor. I can pretty much use this thing anywhere, and not many people would be able to tell the difference between this and a newer electronic cigarette or an e-cig mod of some kind. So this thing is very similar in terms of function to a lot of electronic cigarettes. To turn it on, and I'm going to do this as I unbox the rest so we give it a chance to heat up. As you see, there's 3 buttons here on the unit itself. Turning it on, you just hit the big button 5 times and you'll see it'll pop on, and right away the light will start flashing, letting you know that the oven is now heating up. And I had it a little bit high here based on the last session. I always turn it up towards the end of the session, so I'm going to turn it right back down here, and we'll start her off at, let's say, 385. So the other thing I notice about this, and you'll see it as I leave it sit here, is how quickly this thing heats up, even to the hottest temperature. Going from absolutely cold to the hottest temperature, I find it's within about 2 minutes I'm heated up. Here we're at 385. If you want to put a timer on that, go ahead, but I'll continue with the unboxing. Obviously very well packaged, very well secured when it did arrive. And I gotta say, the folks at VaporFi, even when I was using their electronic cigarettes going back 4 or 5 years ago, are fantastic in terms of customer service. If I ever have a question or a problem with any of their product, they're right there. And in terms of shipping, they really are one of the best. I usually have whatever I order from them within about a couple days. In this case, I think it was within 3 days. So you get a nice little owner's manual here. It's pretty straightforward. It pretty much brings you through all of the functionality. And then you get some accessories here, 2 boxes at the bottom, and I'm going to open these up with you, show you what you get. A couple things I really do like, and if you're familiar with VaporFi or you're familiar with their first dry herb vaporizer, was the Orbit. It was great. It was quite a hit, but the mouthpiece would tend to get a little bit hot after extended use. I don't find the same type of heat I'm experiencing with the Stratus, but they do include these mouthpiece covers. You get 3 of them right in the box, and they're kind of dual purpose. If you find that you're using it for a long time, as you see, the chamber's already heated up, and it does start to get hot, you can use this as an insulator on the mouthpiece itself, or if you're using it with a friend, you can share some of your herb or some of your pleasure without actually sharing some saliva. So as I continue, I'm going to show you one little pull off this as I continue the unboxing, just to give you an idea of the vapor production you can expect, which is fantastic. The flavor's coming through amazingly. I don't have any of the byproduct flavor from the machine that you'd expect on some lower end vaporizers, so that's it. In this box they include obviously your charger, nice telescopic micro USB charger. They do also include the wall adapter. I like that. A lot of them these days don't. Nice little cleaning brush, and as well as your stirring tool. So the stirring tool does come in handy. I find that towards the end of a session I'll stir it up a little bit, but I do find that if I don't, it's still vaping through the material relatively thoroughly. And that's the case whether I fill the heating chamber completely or not. The heating chamber on this one is right at the top of the unit. Filling it up is very, very simple. You just pop off the top to reveal a nice heating chamber in there. I find it can easily hold about a half a gram of herb. Actually, I mean, if you pack it in pretty tight, you can probably get close to a full gram in there. But I find that for myself, I'm putting it not quite to the top. I pack it in not too tightly, but I pack it in pretty tightly towards the bottom of the chamber, about a half a gram at a time. And that's working very, very well for me. And I find that if I am using it with a friend or a couple of friends, I can fill it up and put, like I say, pretty much a full gram of herb in there, and it's easily able to be used between 2 or 3 of us, and we're all smiling pretty much by the end of it. This thing is fantastic. It's still cool. I find it still cool to the touch. I mean, it's a little bit warm around here at the top of the heating chamber, but you got these nice air vents on the side, which do help in terms of cooling. I like the way, like I say, it fits right in my hand. So if I'm actually using this somewhere in public, whether it's an electronic cigarette or a herb vaporizer, really, there's no way that you can tell, especially when I'm covering up the screen. But then again, a lot of the newer e-cig mods that are coming out now do have these LED screens as well. So very, very discreet, very well designed, very well made, very well packaged, and the results, I gotta say, are really fantastic. I do want to give a shout out to the folks at VaporFi. You guys have always done well by me in terms of not only helping me quit smoking, but the Orbit, which was fantastic. Most of the time now when it's not here, it's a friend of mine that's borrowing it. He loves it. But yeah, the Stratus, you've really outdone yourselves. Great job. Absolutely recommend it, especially to anyone who is looking at getting a vape for the first time. If you're on a budget, this is, like I say, it's about half the price of most of the other quality vapes on the market, and the results, the difference, especially if you're new to vaping marijuana, are negligible compared to what you'll see with some of the higher end models. As you can see, it shut itself off. There is an automatic shut off, which is nice too if you forget about it. But yeah, fantastic job. I'm absolutely loving it, and I'm going to put a link up at the bottom to VaporFi, but it's vaporfi.com. Check it out, and yeah, happy vaping, guys. All the best. I'll see you soon.